Hi all, me again. I watched a video the other day by, let me think who it was now, it was Adobe TV, and they were talking about Lightroom vs Photoshop. Now, I haven't been a big Lightroom fan because I've always been used to using Bridge and Camera Raw and Photoshop, and I'm pretty good with those three applications. Anyway, to cut a long story short, a while back I got Lightroom and I thought I'll have a look at it and see if I like it, because it looks quite like a jazzier version of Adobe Camera Raw. Anyway, I started using it and I thought, yeah, I like this program. But then, just today, there's one of the reasons why I'm doing the video, I noticed that when you import a picture, say a RAW file into Adobe Camera, not Adobe Camera, Adobe Photoshop Lightroom 3.4, it's got its own built-in colour management as Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, and the colour space is meant to be as close to ProPhoto, Adobe ProPhoto's colour space, which is fine. So you go in, you open your picture, you edit it, but then you want to preview. You're not going to print these pictures. I never print my own stuff anyway. For people who print their own stuff, I'd say it's great. But for people who are going to send off to labs and stuff like that and put stuff on the internet, what I don't like about it is, you sit there editing the file. You edit the colour, you edit the contrast, you edit everything. Then when you come to export out of Lightroom, there's no proof. So you can't say, right, what is this picture going to look like in the sRGB colour space and on the web. You can't do it. It's just physically impossible. Lightroom doesn't do it, and that sort of pisses me off really, because I'm so used to not every bit of my work that I do gets printed. There's only so much of it gets printed. Others just goes on web. So it is nice in Photoshop. You can, I mean, I don't know if anybody does not know how to do it, but I'll quite gladly do a tutorial on how to prove of what a picture's going to look like on the internet, or what it's going to look like before it comes back from print or whatever. Adobe Lightroom doesn't do that. What you've got to do is you can export the file to sRGB, but then you've got to open it up and have a look at it and go, oh, right, do I like it? No, hang on, I'll just go back into Lightroom and desaturate it a bit and do it again, which is not, it's not really my way of working in that. And it's a shame, because I really fell in love with Lightroom until that point. And when I actually googled it, there's lots of people been asking for that feature for a long time, and for some unknown reason they're not implementing it in there, and I just don't know why. Another thing you can't do, you can't convert to a profile either. Basically you're in the ProPhoto colour space, and until you've exported is then when you export, I could choose my lab's colour space if I wanted to. And then, but I can't actually see what it's going to do to my picture, where in Lightroom I can go edit, convert to my printing lab's colour space, and I'll see the picture change. And I go, oh, I don't like that. I might want to change the rendering intent from relative colorimetric to perceptual. Well, you can't see that in Adobe Lightroom. It's just got to be, unless you print. I think if you print from inside Lightroom, I did watch something where you can preview what it's going to look like if you print yourself. But for somebody who's going to labs and stuff like that and doing a lot of internet work, it's a bit of a, it's a really shame. It's really upset me, to be honest, because, and if anybody from Adobe watches this video, get it sorted. You know what I mean? End of the day, we're photographers. We edit on screen and we want what we see on screen. That's another thing what I don't like. They implemented OpenGL in Photoshop, and one of the big features was, it's on one of my other videos, how to sharpen for sharper images, so that you could sharpen images, measure your screen resolution, put that number in, sharpen your images and get good results. So you won't just adjusting like Lightroom, it says on export, standard sharpening, no sharpening, or adjust for screen. You know, that's just guessing what sharpening should be. Photoshop with the OpenGL driver makes it more spot on. Makes it 100, well not 100%, but near enough 100% accurate. Why ain't that in Lightroom? Again, I'd have to go from Lightroom into Photoshop, then crop it, then view print size to adjust my sharpening, then go back to Lightroom. If I'm going to do that, what's the point of Lightroom in the first place? And it's a really shame, really, that it has, because it has upset me, because I've just got used to using it. I'm pretty good with it now, and all shortcuts and everything. But I'm just not going to use it for the basic simple reason is the colour management's not there. I can't proof a picture, and I don't print my own pictures, so it's no good for me anyway. So I hope that helps anybody wondering whether they should use Photoshop or Lightroom. And oh, just another thing, you can open an image from Lightroom into Photoshop. Then you could do what I'm telling you about. You could then crop it, view print size, proof it, and do all that lot. But what's the point? What's the point of going into Lightroom to start off with? You might as well either one, start off in Photoshop, do everything in Photoshop, or use Adobe Bridge. Say if you've got Photoshop, you've got Bridge. No point wasting your money on Lightroom.